Hello everybody and welcome back to another C++ programming exercise video. And in today's video we're going to be going over C++ programming exercise number 22. Now C++ programming exercise number 22 says, suppose you roll a set of n dice. Then the smallest sum of n and the largest sum is 6n. For example, if n is equal to 10, then the smallest sum is 6 and the largest sum is 60. Let m be the desired sum of the numbers rolled. Then n is less than or equal to m, which is less than or equal to 6n. If n is equal to 10, then 6 is less than or equal to m, which is less than or equal to 60. Write a program that uses the class die of example 10-9 to roll 10 dice. We use an array of size 10 to implement 10 dice. The program prompts the user to enter the desired sum and the number of times the dice are to be rolled. The program also will output the number of times the desired sum was rolled and the probability of rolling the desired sum. Run your program to roll 10 dice, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000, and 10,000,000, and 100,000,000 times with the desired sums 6, 25, and 60. How many times was the sum 6 rolled? How many times was the sum 60 rolled? Okay, let's get started. So right here we have our header file, which contains the 3 functions that we're going to be using in this program, and the private variable, which is num. So first we need to write the implementation file for this header file. So let's get to it. Here we have our implementation file. So here we have our constructor. Now the constructor is going to be very simple. We're going to write in num is equal to 1 and srand time 0 to set the time to 0. Now in order to roll the dice, we're going to use also make sure that you use the ctime header file and the cstdlib because they are very important. So then we write in num, which is equal to rand modulo 6 plus 1. And then for get num, all we need to do is return num. So there is the implementation file for our whole program. So now if you do not know, I'm just going to refresh you on what this does. This basically generates a random number between 1 and 6. Because usually and the reason that the reason that we add 1 is so that it starts at 1. Okay, the time is in order to set the time to 0 so that we don't get completely randomized objects. Anyways, now let's move on to the main.cpp file and get to writing the main bread and bones of this program. Here is the main.cpp file. So the first thing that you want to do for the main.cpp file is add the constant int num of dice to the top. That is going to be the constant that you will use in order to store the dice. The next thing you want to do is you want to make the array that we're going to use for the dice. And this array will be of type die, meaning it's going to be of type of this class. Once you write in that, now we need to write in the sum and the desired sum. Next, we have to have min dice sum and max dice sum. And then we have to finally have the desired sum count. After we do that, now we have to go in and write in min dice sum is equal to number of dices, and max dice sum is equal to 6 times the number of dices. As said by the question, that is basically going to be our equation. Next, we have to write in cout. Enter the number of times the dice enter the number of times the dice to be rolled, and then cin, num of dice rolled, and then you cout endl. And then we also have to write in enter the desired sum of the dice between min dice sum and max dice sum inclusive. Okay, now after determining that with the user inputted numbers, now we have to get to writing our while loop. Now, the first while loop that we're going to be using is while the desired sum is less than min dice sum, or desired sum is greater than max dice sum. This while loop right here is to ensure that we are given correct or we are given valid numbers. The desired sum should be in between min dice sum and max dice sum. Re-enter the desired sum of the dice. Cin, desired sum, cout, endl. Okay, now that we're done with that while loop, we can now get on to doing our actual for loop that is going to be controlling the entire program, or the for loop that is going to be the most important in our program to do like what we actually want it to do. So first up, we're going to have the row count, and it's going to be starting at 1. And the row count, while the row count is less than or equal to num of dice plus num of dice rolled, and then we also increase row count by 1. And also sum, so we start off sum being equal to 0. And now we also have to add another for loop. And this for loop is for int die count is equal to 0. Die count is less than num of dice and die count plus plus. And inside of this for loop, we are going to be writing dice list die count dot roll, and then we add in the sum is equal to sum plus dice list die count dot get num. So basically what's going on here is that we are rolling each and every single individual index of the dice list array, and then after we roll it, we then add that the num of that die count index into the sum. And now we can write in at the bottom right here, if the sum is equal to the desired sum, then we add up the desired sum count by 1. So this basically means that it's going to repeat this for the number of times, for the desired number of times that the number of dice rolled should last, as given by the user here. And for each one of those repetitions, we do this. We roll the dice and then we add them into a sum, and we look at how many times the desired sum pops up. And every time that desired sum does pop up, then we increase the desired sum count by 1. So once we're done with all of our for loops, we can come to the end and we can signify that we are done with the program, and we cout the final desired sum count. Now we can go on to now we can go and run this program. Enter the number of times the dice to be rolled. Let's try 10,000. Enter the desired sum of the dice. I'll try 25. Number of times the desired sum occurred, 118. Let's try that again. 10,000. 25. 133 this time. Okay. So you can see that our program works just well, and it accomplishes what we need it to accomplish. So I hope you all had fun in the C++ programming exercise, and I hope we can continue to do C++ programming exercises just like this. I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.